The Her Business by Design podcast is for female business owners looking for inspiration and ideas on how they can elevate their leadership and level up their business and profits. We explore all aspects of business ownership with a particular focus on empowering women to be strong leaders by providing them with the knowledge to cultivate a positive and productive business culture. So join us, Elaine Richards and Tamara Lloyd, founders of Business by Design Duo, for inspired chats with our favourite female business owners to uncover their journey, tips and ideas to help you in business.
Hello, Tamara. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Lovely, so lovely to see you in what a fabulous dress you're wearing today.
Oh, thank you. Well, I knew we were doing a podcast on a bit of creativity, so I felt like I needed to dress a little bit more bright.
Yes, and I'm feeling somewhat a little bit the opposite in my
Yeah, you've kind of
black.
gone black. But look, you can see our outfits on YouTube if you want.
Actually, yes, jump onto YouTube. Today is not the best day for me. The weather was very poor and I literally jumped out into the car.
Yeah, but look at you. You've had your hair done. You're looking fresh.
I'm getting creative.
Yeah. Both had our nails done. Whoop.
Yep.
On brand. They're both kind of pinkish.
Mine's not quite pink. But anyway, but what a great topic.
Yes, and we love being creative, except when we're not in the mood, which is kind of what we're talking about, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're not in the mood, I don't think your creative juices can flow. So
yeah, and let me just share, like before this podcast, we had a couple of family calls, probably both of us, and we were a bit frustrated. So and obviously doing these podcasts, you need to be
in the zone
and creative. So we put our little Jack's song on, Cinderella Snapped. We danced around a little bit.
Had the control of not hitting the bar and having a stiff drink.
Yeah, I know. I'm actually a bit disappointed you didn't. I offered you a drink and you said no. So
I'll be good.
I'm disappointed, to be honest. But anyway, so you do, I guess the point is, we all sometimes don't feel like being creative, but in business, you need to be creative, don't you?
You do, and I think you need to have fun. And I think if you have fun and you're in the right frame of mind and the right headspace, then the creativity, you can embrace it, and I think you can certainly benefit from, a lot of new things that you can implement into your business.
Yeah, and I think, look, getting as to why creativity is important. I think just to keep a business moving forward, whether you're a sole operator or you've got 100 staff, it doesn't really matter. I think to keep, the business moving forward, new ideas, to keep the business owner interested in the business, but also to keep staff engaged, to keep improving, you must be able to have time to be creative.
And I think if you hit the nail on the head for me, I think if you have a team, the leader is, it flows from the top. And if you're not in a great mood, people will pick up on it very quickly. And I think over the years, it's important that if you don't feel the vibe, you stay home.
Yeah.
And do something different, because the last thing we want from our staff is them coming into the office in a bad mood and sharing that bad juju all over 100%. The office. So quite often we would say, look, if you're not feeling great, stay home and then rest and then pick up the next day.
Work from home today, or do a task that you can do without talking to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because obviously you need to keep productivity high. But I remember a principal in real estate. He said he would get to, and he was a very successful business owner. He had a number of offices and had a few hundred staff, and he would drive to work the same way every day. And when he got to a certain roundabout, as he drove through the roundabout, he'd ask himself, how am I feeling today? Am I feeling great? And 99% of the time he'd say yes and keep driving to work. If he got there and sort of wasn't in the great headspace, he'd just turn around and go back home. Not that he did that very often, but he just said, I couldn't afford to have him as a business leader to be negative in that business. And that really stuck with me in terms of how important it was. I mean, this is a guy that has a number of businesses, over 200 staff, and often one of the top offices in the network. And that's how important it was for him to have the right headspace around his team and his staff, which is kind of what this is about, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. That's actually really creative.
Yeah.
But I think too, it's okay to have your down days. And I think sometimes we all put our, big muscles on and we're like, yeah, we're feeling great and we've just got to soldier on. But sometimes it's not worth soldiering on and you need to allow yourself some down days. So I think it's really vital in business. And for me, I think it was important for your team, because if you and I weren't on, and we wouldn't share with the team that you weren't, if it was you or me, we would just say, oh, she's got appointments today or whatever. And that's okay. But between you and I think...
And we'd pick up the slack. I would say, look, I'm just going to work on this today. For you, often you're on the phone a lot to people and you might just say, look, I'll just, you'd say that to me, I'll make these calls tomorrow. There's one urgent one I need to make or whatever, but I'm just going to focus on this other thing where you don't need to speak to people. And that wasn't very often.
No.
But it would happen from time to time and then we would be understanding. And I think that also with senior team members and things like that, just to have that open relationship to be able to do that. Obviously it becomes a problem if people having those negative days all the time. That's another issue which we won't go into now. But
different topic, Tam.
I think, the reason that creativity is so important, you need to continue to innovate, improve your processes in your business, have the headspace to look at new technology and new tools. There's always someone calling you to say, I've got this new product, did you want to have a look at it? And quite often you just can't be bothered looking, but you really probably should be looking at some of those things so you can understand what's going to be the next big thing. Do you want to be on the front foot in that, which we like to be in many areas, not that you can do everything, but you need to have the right headspace for that. And I think also we talk about having that clarity of vision of your business. So I think to get that clarity of vision, and then once you've got that clarity, to have those goals along the way to hit that vision. But to do all that work takes a lot of headspace and you need to be in the right frame of mind and the right environment. So I think it's pretty clear that you need to be creative in business and how important that is. And now, maybe we can look at some of the ways that we've, tried to continue to be creative and be in the right headspace, or we've seen others sort of do that as well.
And I think if you're not, you mentioned it just briefly, if people were, which they did, constantly tap in and send you an email or whatever, we would flag them and come back to them, because if you constantly are saying no to things, then you're not going to be creative and you're going to miss opportunities that 100%. Are vital and that can be really valuable for your business.
Yeah. So one of the things we did do, which is which I think I said this a few podcasts ago, I need to get it set up in here. We had a whiteboard and then we just write stuff up. So we might not have the time, or wasn't the right time to talk about something now, or whatever. But if there's ideas or things we wanted to look at or come back to, we'd write it on our whiteboard and then that'd just stay there. Sometimes it was up there for a few days, sometimes it was up there for a few months, but just so we had that ideas board. And I know down in our property management department, they had an ideas board as well on things that could be improving a process or something fun they wanted to do, just so that those ideas don't go into a black hole. They talked about at some point.
But then because we kept coming back when we would have our catch-ups and we would look at them, they're there written visually, and so also you're putting it out into the universe if you're writing it down. I'm a big believer of that. So I think you're right. If you would, if you're not doing that and you're not coming back, because you've always got to come back to your vision and your plan and recheck in and see how you're travelling, you would miss those opportunities.
And sometimes life changes and your vision changes, but you've got to have the headspace and the time to sit and, think about those things and let that mull over. It doesn't happen, let's create a vision in 5 minutes. That doesn't happen either. So,
but the reality is, as a business owner, we're always stressed and we're always going from one thing to the next to the next. So I think you need to plan a little bit for it.
And I think I know, and I'm sure there's scientific evidence for it, stress stifles creativity. You can't be totally creative if you're stressed. I'm sure there's not many artists unless they thrive on that stress. But, if you think of painting, you're not going to be painting beautiful painting if you're stressed. So
I guess it's important to know the triggers and obviously set your week up or your month up and plan so that you don't end up in that environment of stress, and then plan and implement that creativity. And I think there are ways that we've got ideas on how to do that. I think personally in your personal life, you have to be you have to have things to look forward to. You have to have that balance. Otherwise, you're going to get burnt out very quickly. So,
and if you are in a high stress environment, just knowing that is kind of the environment that you're in, and often for us in real estate it was, but you know that you need to take yourself away from that. And I think that's one of the key things too, is taking time out of physically, out of being in that environment. And as you said, obviously personally, it might be going home, going away with your family, going camping, going on a holiday.
But I think that's one thing that you did very well that I probably was lacking a little bit, is setting yourself up for the year and planning your trips. And you would always say to me, you need to break a lane, you need to break a lane. I've gone and booked a holiday, I'm going to Port Douglas, I'm doing whatever it is. And you would constantly say to me, have you booked that holiday? Have you booked that holiday? And for me, I was in this little bubble of, whether it was for whatever reason, staff issues or,
It's never the right time to go away.
No, it's not. But
but it is. Like, you just got to do it.
But now I appreciate the fact that I've got things to look forward to. So since having our van.
So that's probably the best thing you did was buy a caravan.
Yeah, like every other Australian. But I said to my husband, right, where are we going next? Like, I know I've got another 2 holidays planned. They're not massive holidays, but it's allowed me to, it's given me the strength and the permission to go and do that, which I think I lacked and I should have done many years ago.
That is such a key point, and it used to drive me mental with you. Yeah. You would not give yourself permission to go away, and then you would book a holiday to Port Douglas and go for 6 nights. Now, I know I've just done that, but that was just me and the kids. But you go, you and the kids and your husband would go away for 6 nights. I'm like, book it for 2 weeks.
Oh, I know. Maybe I'm a bit of a tight ass like that.
Yeah, maybe that's actually true. But
you know what? And here's why I didn't do it. Because I was always in business mode. I was always thinking, if I'm going to be away for that period of time, I'm going to not be doing calls. I'm not going to not be bringing in business. I'm going to, and reality is I was away and I was still on my bloody phone. But I think you need to really have a good mindset, a mind shift to say, right, and discipline to say no. And I still took my laptop. But over time, that laptop would still come with me, but I wouldn't open it. Or unless it was urgent, then I would not be taking those calls.
And I think that was the thing I would say. I'm only going to message you if something's urgent.
Yeah.
And you'd only message me if you're hanging shit on me because you're sitting somewhere nice and I was at the desk. But anyway.
But that's just how we roll, Tam. And you would do the same.
Oh, yes.
But you've just been to Port Douglas and I left you alone.
You did. I know. I was like, oh, Elaine's giving me some space here. Not that you don't.
No. But look, I encourage all business owners out there to really consider that and make that shift because I think, look, we've both just come off a short break and aside from the family dramas we've had this morning, we're both in really good headspaces and we are here ready to get creative and we've got an exciting couple of days ahead in our business.
100%. So I think the big thing personally that I've done that I would love you to do this, but I would love everyone to have the opportunity. And look, it's not a cheap thing to do.
I know what you're going to say.
Yes. And look, there's probably other places you can go that are cheaper, but I don't think it's a cheap thing to do in general. But if you have the opportunity or you can create something like this, I went to, and I'm not sponsored by them, the Gaia Retreat up in Byron or just out of Byron, and it's one of the most amazing places. There's other sort of health retreats, but the reason I like this one is because you can have a wine with dinner. There's coffee available if you need it, which I do, and you can do yoga or not. It's as many things as you want to do or not want to do. The views are amazing. I've been there now twice by myself. Now, that's the key. So it could be that you go anywhere that you love, that's your place. And that doesn't, I guess, need to be an expensive trip, but go by yourself for 4 or 5 days and just somewhere that you like to go, whether it's the beach or the hills or whatever, an activity that you like to do, and just really check out. But it allows you to really think because we don't really allow our brains just to, when I say think, just sort of, I don't know, reflect and not be so stressed. Declutter your brain. Actually, that's perfect. So,
I think even one of our mentors or a lady that we're working with, Tina Tower, does it amazingly. She smashes through weeks and weeks and weeks of work, but she is very pro taking time out. I think she did it just last week and she said, I'm just going to lock myself away for 3 days, and she was reading her book, and I thought, wow, that's amazing. Wouldn't that be a beautiful opportunity?
No, and everyone, I would be thinking, good on her. I mean, it depends, I guess, what industry you're in and how your business works, but that's really if it's your business, it's how you want to set it up. And I think the worst thing that business owners do is they can be guilty that what are my staff thinking of me? But you need to be a good example to your staff. You need to work. They can see that you're working hard. You deserve a break, as do they.
Yeah.
And I think you need to set the boundaries around that, and you shouldn't be feeling guilty because you're rejuvenating yourself.
But I think it allows you to be the best version of you, and that's when, going back on to topic of creativity, if you come back to work refreshed, rejuvenated, the opportunities inside your mind are endless. And I know that, going back to Tina, she said, it's been in those moments of quiet downtime reflection where some of her most creative ideas have actually come from. So
absolutely, and that is no surprise to me.
No, but we need to take a leaf out of her book and get on board, and I might just go and book a retreat if you don't mind.
That's fine. You go for it. But I think the other thing that, and I do this sometimes, and I'll send you a little photo. One of the things that I like to do occasionally, particularly on the nicer days, is in the afternoons go down to, I'll still work usually, go down to a local little winery that's got a beautiful outlook. I'll give them a plug because we're doing a bit of a photo shoot there. That's Rob Dolan. And it's so pretty there, and go and I'll have a wine, take my laptop, and I'll smash out something that I need to be creative in, and that might be writing a blog. That can be, it's certainly creative. So it might be writing or coming up with ideas, and I like to go somewhere different, even though I've got my office set up nicely and all the rest of it. Just a change in scenery helps with that.
And then you would take a photo and screenshot and send it to me.
With a glass of wine and the view, and you're doing school pickup. So sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll get there.
I will one day. I might surprise you one day and top that.
Yeah.
But I think it is important to get outside of your own environment, whether it's your office, and it's okay to go to a beautiful winery and sit there and work, or whether it's a nice quiet cafe, or, just that change of scenery.
Yeah. I even like a noisy cafe. I like the noise. And that's not everyone's thing, but find your thing, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's okay you can still work outside of the norm. Yep. But I think just that slight change, or, I come up here, sometimes we'll go to the Realm. I think it's important to find new environments, because sometimes, you might pick up different vibes, or you might, something different might happen during that experience, and you might go, how about this? Or, So.
And I think the other thing that we've done in the past, which I still love doing, is and we still do it actually, I shouldn't say in the past, we still do it, is catch up with other business owners, whether they're in your industry or outside of your industry. Now, that could be at networking functions, but particularly I like going out to their office, or if they work from home, it might be meeting in a cafe or something, and just having a chat to them about their business, what they do, and you get ideas from other industries as well, inspiration, and sometimes, I know if I'm feeling a little bit flat, I don't believe I suck the energy out of people, but I believe I am energised by other people. Not everyone's like that. So if I'm feeling a bit flat, I'll call a friend and say, can we grab a quick coffee? Or if I haven't seen you for a week, I'm like having, a meltdown because I haven't seen you for a week.
Withdrawals.
Yeah, withdrawals. That's what I was looking for.
I am addictive.
Yeah. I'll leave that right there. I think definitely meeting with other business owners and seeing what they do, you get ideas and you can tweak it a bit to suit your business.
Yes.
And hearing what their visions are, that can be inspiring, and it just connects you with other humans. And
so I think that you should plan that, but also if you feel that that's where you're heading, I think you need to nip that in the bud pretty quickly, and you need to go, right, I need to be energised, I need to have some shift. And I agree completely. Call on your friends, call on your business coach, whatever it is, and jump on that very quickly. Otherwise you can pivot and go downhill very quickly, and it's hard to get out of those environments, and then you're not going to be of benefit to you, your team, or anything. So
the other thing that we did that I loved, is probably a great thing for us to do. Like we would have planning days with our staff. We'd have half-day planning days, just you and I. But probably one of the best things that we did was I think it was 2 nights down at Sorrento. We hired a little Airbnb, and we actually had an agenda. We were very strict of things that we wanted to go through. So all those emails that would come through and ideas and things that we had up on our board, we had those all down as topics we needed to cover.
And our butcher's paper that you love writing on butcher's paper?
Yes, I did take butcher's paper down there. I love scribbling. Like I know there's only so much you can do on a computer. I do like to get creative on a bit of butcher paper or a whiteboard and take some photos. But yeah, we went there for 2 days. We would work during the day, like planning, but we made it sort of fun, and we had like a little platter and stuff like that because that's our jam. And then we'd go out at night. We wouldn't go crazy because we had a big day the next day, but we'd have a few drinks, have a bit of fun, and then we'd be rejuvenated for the next day. And that was probably one of the best things that we did, was taking that. Well, it was kind of like 3 days out of the business and just totally going somewhere different.
That was great because it was fresh air. We could walk.
Yep.
We were in a different environment because in our workspace we're constantly going to the same cafes. But we were very disciplined, and we actually got a lot out of those 2 or 3 days.
I think we need to book another one of those.
But then we would come back, and the most important thing out of having those days is implement those changes.
Yeah, we'd always have an action plan.
Yeah, and on your planning days, like I think we did a great job of implementing ideas from the team. So get them to come together and be creative, and they actually enjoyed it, and we had a lot of fun. So
yeah, those planning days, which we've talked about, we harp on about them all the time, but they were pivotal, and I think they are a great part of any business culture if you do them well.
Yeah, I also think we also went and visited a business last week, Tam. The environment of your workspace is really important, and one of the things that stood out to us was what was lacking in that environment. And I think it's important. Our office space that we had was bright.
Even here, look, if you jump on YouTube, you'll see we've got a bright space, and
our lights, but also plants. We had a lot of plants in our office. It has to be bright and vibrant and
just positive. I mean, some people like the more muted colours, but you can still bring in a bit of life with plants and some artwork or some knickknacks or whatever. I don't know. I guess, not everyone's visual, but a lot of people are.
But even flowers, like you mentioned, like we're doing a photo shoot, we're going to get some flowers. But I know that sometimes when you walk into a room, or even at our reception, whether it's the fruit bowl that we would have or flowers, quite often we would have a vase.
And a candle.
It's the sensory side of things that I think a lot of people forget about.
Doesn't smell like someone's stale fish and chips that they had 2 hours ago.
Or food that's left in the fridge for months. It hasn't been cleaned up. Or the rubbish bins. But I think that if you can be mindful of that, you can put or present to your team, or even yourself if it's just you, a really pleasant environment to work in that is going to allow the creativity and the spark and the excitement and the fun. So I think it's like anything. If you go into a home, as an example for an open home, you can go in and it can be very bland, it can be boring, or you can choose to have someone standing at the door having a nice greeting experience, music playing, plants. Which one are you going to prefer?
Yeah, 100%. And it was interesting. We talking to one of our clients that we've done a little bit of work with the other day, and she is she's got young children. She's got very successful business. And she doesn't like working from home, particularly after COVID. I think a lot of people are now moving away from that. So there's a lot of, I think you call them serviced office spaces, and she chose one that had a lot of natural light. She can set up the desk as she wants, and she's got a couple of staff. So they've got 3 desks in this serviced office space. We went and had a chat to her. It was all beautifully set up. It was a communal space, but even the communal area was beautifully presented, had everything you needed functionally, but it looked fantastic.
Do you know what I love about this story too, though? When we did catch up with her, one of the things that we suggested she implement into her business or her weekly routine was to join the gym, because that was one of her goals. And it was such a privilege and a pleasure to hear her say, I love coming here, and you'll be very pleased to know I've joined the gym downstairs. So, those environments, not only can you network, but you can, you're in a bright environment, you're meeting new people, and the gym that she needed is just downstairs.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, you need to, but I feel sometimes you need to step back and look at what it is you need. You don't some people don't just take the time. Like for us, it was obvious speaking to her, even in an hour, what it was that she needed. And we weren't really telling her anything she didn't really know. We just said it out loud. And I think, that's part of having a business coach too, isn't it? It's just we're bringing out people's ideas that are already in the back of their head, but we're saying, no, go do this, giving yourself permission to look after yourself, your mental health, physical health, and your business health. They're all related.
It's not until you hear it secondhand or from someone else, a third party has to say that before it actually sinks in, and then they go, yep, you know what, she's 100% right and I need to do that. Stop procrastinating and just do it. So
absolutely. So hopefully we've given you a few ideas here, and just I'm also giving you permission to look after your mental and physical health, and be in an environment visually that appeals to you, and just taking time out. That's all. It's okay to do that. Like, you actually need to do that if you're going to have a healthy business. Don't see it as I'm on holiday or I'm taking a break, I'm lazy and work's not going to get done. You're actually going to get more productive work done in the future.
So the challenge for our listeners is to get creative. Look at their environment that they're working in, maybe switch it up or change it up a bit and get out and try and work in a different environment. Just do it once and see if you like it. It might be the local cafe, or it might be Rob Dolan Wines.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that I have recently, or we have recently done, that has been really needed our creative juices that we had to really sort of focus on. We have recently enrolled in a course. We're doing a Leadership Archetype course. There's 12 archetypes, which we'll probably do a podcast on at some time in the future. But we've actually created a little quiz to give you a bit of a taste of what you might be, what type of leader you are. Creating that quiz was very creative, and we needed to take ourselves out of our space regularly. It took a while, but if you're interested in taking that quiz, I just thought I might mention it. Just jump onto our website, businessbydesignduo.com.au, and at the top it says take the leadership quiz. It's not a free quiz. No, it'll take you 5-10 minutes max, but 5 minutes, and it'll give you an idea of what sort of leader you are. There is then a full assessment that you can do, but that's, something you could do down the track if you're really interested. But, jump on and see what you think, and it'll give you the pros and cons of your leadership style. When I say pros and cons, the things that you need to be aware of that are both positive and that could cause challenges for you or your team. So jump on and do the quiz. Learn a little bit more about it. But that was certainly something that we needed to have our creative hat on for.
I actually said to my husband, you're a bit of a jester the other day, and he goes, yeah, I am.
Yeah. He doesn't even know what that was.
No, he goes, I think he did actually.
Yeah. He is actually.
Yeah. But no, I enjoyed doing it, and I think our listeners will love it. Yeah. So, absolutely.
I'm a lover, by the way. What were you?
I'm a bit of
You're
few,
a caregiver.
Actually.
Yeah, well, I think we're all a
caregiver.
Few.
Yeah, a bit of a lover.
Yeah, and I think I was a magician.
Yeah.
So magic.
Yep.
All right.
Well, great. Get creative.
Great
Get out
topic.
there.
And hopefully we've given you permission to go out there and
book that holiday, book that retreat.
Yeah, 100%.
Go to the cafe or the winery.
Yeah.
Have a great day, Tam. Thanks to our listeners. See you soon.
Thank you, listeners. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in, and congratulations on getting to the end. If you loved this episode, why don't you hit the subscribe button, share this podcast with a friend, and leave a review. Reviews and referrals are the best way to help a small business. If you are interested in downloading any of our free business resources, go to businessbydesignduo.com.au and click on the Business Resources tab. We're Elaine and Tamara, and we can't wait to have you back for our next episode. You can connect with us on socials, Business by Design Duo, or go to our website, businessbydesignduo.com.au. Have an amazing day.